Welcome to the show after the show. I'm Amadeus with Eden Kendall. We are your hometown morning show on 99.9 Gator Country in Jacksonville, Florida.
Today, we have a special guest. His song, Wild as Her, has been just rocketing up the charts. It's been a really good season for Corey Kent, and he joins us. You're going to love how down-to-earth he is.
Absolutely. So with no further ado, the pride of Bixby, Oklahoma, it's Corey Kent.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Well, we're good, but what are you doing picking up the phone, making your own calls? You are a big star.
Oh, come on. No, same guy I was a year ago before anybody knew my name.
Well, now you're the guy that goes to the Super Bowl.
I know. How crazy is that?
How was that?
Man, I'm trying to find the words to explain it. So a friend of mine, he called me, and you got to understand he's a very over-the-top friend who is so funny. Like one of my great friends. When I met him, I had no idea what his background was. He was just a fan of our music. We became friends. He's got some kids that are really big fans. And anyway, formed this friendship, find out a few months in that this guy was like in politics for a long time and started a tech company and sold it and has done really well for himself and is friends with everybody. And everybody loves this guy. So he calls me, hey, you have plans for the Super Bowl. Do you want to come watch it with us? And I was like, man, I'm on tour with Parker McCollum right now, and I'm in Fargo, and the Super Bowl is, like, tomorrow. I was like, I don't know if I can make it. Where are you watching the Super Bowl? And he was like, at the Super Bowl. And I was like, well, let me see if I can move some things around, you know. So
let me see what I can do.
My wife and I hop on a flight out to Phoenix, and we go to the Super Bowl. And we get there, and keep in mind, like, zero expectations. Like, I'm thinking we're just going to the game, and that is going to blow my mind in itself. He's like, hey, before we go, you got to meet me at this place. So we walk up to this, like, tailgate. Well, it says NFL Commissioner's Tailgate. So we walk in, and it's all the owners of the teams. It's, like, Ben Stiller, Bryan Cranston, Shaq, like all these like larger than life personalities in this same room. And I'm just like, what is going on, you know? And I find my friend and he's like, hey, let me introduce you to some people. And, you know, I'm like having 20-minute conversations with guys that I just think are Tom's friends. And then, you know, it's like, well, nice to meet you. Yeah, great to meet you too. And I would be like, Tom, who was that? He'd be like, oh, that was the Speaker of the House for the United States. Like,
oh, my gosh, what?
Cool. I mean, yeah.
And yet
you told me that before. I acted like I was just a normal degenerate, you know, from Oklahoma. So,
and yet you're still grounded enough to pick up the phone and call us.
Look at you, hobnobbing.
Yeah. It was so funny, man. I love settings like that because I just feel like such an average Joe. Like, no matter how people view me. And the funniest part was, like, the Speaker of the House, Kevin, he was like, hey, can I get a selfie with you? And he took the picture, walked off, and I was like, who was that?
He
and
wanted
he was
a
like,
selfie
was the
with
Speaker
you.
of the House. Yeah, I was like, what is happening right now? It was so funny, man.
Was that
was
that like an I've made it moment? Did you say to yourself, wow, something's happening?
You know, that was that one in particular where he was like, hey, can I get a picture with you? I was like, I'm standing, like, literally over my right shoulder is Shaq and Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston. Like, if you're asking for a picture with me, then maybe you do think that I'm something, you know? It was kind of one of those moments.
What does it feel like to be that close to Shaq? Like, did you feel a little tiny?
Yeah, it felt like the Earth was like on a different scale for a minute, you know? Like, that's how it felt. He's honestly the largest human I've ever seen in real life. Like, I don't know why we don't just call him a giant. Like, he's not a normal human.
He is a giant. I met him once at an
actual giant.
His album release party I got invited to, and I met him and got to shake his hand. And my hand was like literally like a little tiny doll hand in his. I was like, what in the world is this?
Well, there were all these kids running around trying to catch up with him and get a picture, right? And he would like put his hand on the back of a kid, and the kid would disappear. Like you couldn't see the kid anymore. It was insane.
What the heck? He's like a magician.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
a great game. I'm a huge sports fan. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I had to be, not pulling for the rival. So the game went my way, but I really just had a blast enjoying, like, Chris Stapleton sang the national anthem, and it changed my life.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I will never forget that moment. I'm staring up at the clouds, fireworks are going off, Stapleton singing the greatest national anthem of all time, and I'm just like, how did I get here?
That's what we were saying. We were like, how did he get there? No, I mean, we were saying, like, how is this not being considered one of the all-time best national anthems we've ever heard at the Super Bowl?
It in my opinion, like, it's not even close. It is. It just took it, and then maybe that's why we're not talking about it, is because it's just understood.
Yeah,
it's just,
I agree.
That was the best ever.
I agree.
I don't know. It was insane.
Okay. So we definitely want to talk about a couple of things. Wild as Her, obviously, climbing. We love it so much. Amadeus, tell Corey what you say about him on the radio every time we play that song.
All right, Corey, I'm a huge comic book nerd, and the very first time I ever saw your name, I instantly went to Clark Kent. So the very first time I think we ever played your song on our show, I said, no relation to Clark, that's Corey Kent. And from that point on, I fell in love with you just for your name.
He did well, but that's not even what I was referring to. You're like, I got a feeling this is going to be our next big, huge star.
That's true too. The first time time we played the song, and whenever we play new music on our show, we keep our headphones on to listen, so we'll know what we're playing. And we came out of that song, and I was like, this is the guy. This is the next guy to meet Shaq.
How did he know?
Man, I appreciate that. First off, I mean, it means a lot because I've been working really hard at this for a long time, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, maybe even more so than the next guy. Like, I feel like a lot of people that quote unquote make it spend all their time in Nashville working at this same goal, and they finally break through. For me, I moved back to Texas. I prioritize the health of my family, my marriage, my kids, being a dad. The world shuts down. I go to work for a pavement company in Dallas and just resolved to work twice as hard. I didn't have the ability to make money playing music when the world shut down. And so learned how to do something new, provide for my family, had 2 kids, a third on the way at the time. And then less than a year later, we put out Wild as Her. I'm still working at the pavement company. The song starts taking off. Fast forward, we sign a record deal. It goes to radio. Shows start selling out. And then, we get a call to go on tour with Jason Aldean, like all within like a 12-month span.
Wow.
So you got to understand it's literally I toured with the Oak Ridge Boys when I was 13 years old. So this is like 15 years in the making and the weirdest, craziest, windingest path you could have taken to get here. And so I don't take it lightly when somebody says, hey, I think you're the next thing, because I've put so much work in and my family sacrificed so much, and it just means a lot when somebody believes in you. So thank you, guys.
Well, bouncing off, you're talking about touring. I know you're going to be at Tortuga this year. Have you ever been to that event?
No, never have. I've heard it's incredible and like right on the water. So
yeah, you are going to have such a great time. You have a pretty intense touring schedule now through the 1st of July, and then you're jumping on this Jason Aldean tour. Dude, you're going to have a crazy busy year.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if you knew this about us, but it's kind of funny. Wild as Her had like a viral moment on social media, which is why the song blew up. But what's funny about that is that we are just like an old school van and trailer touring act. We play at least 100 shows a year and have, even when I was working at the pavement company, we were still playing 100 shows a year. And for us to have a viral moment is kind of funny because that's not really that wasn't what we were going for. That's not where we focus our effort. Our effort is on the road and building fans one at a time in all these clubs. And we are like true road dogs, road warriors, and that's why we keep our schedule so stacked. Is that's what we love. We are live musicians, that happen to have a moment on a recording, and that's how we see it. I love playing live music, and I'll do it as much as I possibly can.
We love that. I love concerts, too. I think I probably see 100 concerts a year, so I know your grueling schedule. Hey, can we talk for a few minutes about your experience on The Voice?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we under a time crunch? Are we sucking up someone else's time? That's the only thing. We don't want to do that.
Let me look.
Yeah,
I do have. Let's see, I'm trying to convert all these times to Central Time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it should be like 9 for you.
Yeah, I think we're good for at least another 5 minutes or so.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool.
Good. Because we do not want to be greedy with you.
We don't want to be that station. Yeah, so tell us
you're
about your
good.
experience
We
on The
got 5
Voice.
minutes.
So let's hear about it then. Team Blake on The Voice.
Yep.
In the midst of
Yeah,
all, I mean, you've just had such a wild, crazy journey. Like you were saying, it's bonkers.
Yeah. It is. You know, it was a great experience in the sense that I learned a lot. It was like a boot camp for an artist. They give you media training and how do you have a great interview, and vocal coaches that I'd never been able to work for in the past. It was all just kind of like raw ability, and learned some tricks that helped me. Got to spend some time with Blake and see what some of the best in the world, how they prepare and all that stuff. But for me, it wasn't really the most enjoyable experience just because I'm such an introvert. Like I'm not a big, hey, look at me personality. I'd rather just like, hey, just give me a mic and put me on a stage. Let me say what I want into the mic, and then let me get off stage and go to bed. Like,
because you did just say you prefer the live concerts, so I could see where that would
Totally.
be contrary to your personality.
Yeah, it's so funny too. My wife will tell you that it's like I step on stage and it's like another version of me is unlocked. You would think if you came to one of our shows, you'd think I was the most extroverted guy in the room.
Really?
But it's really just like this ability. It's like a freedom I feel to just kick it into another gear. And I take being an entertainer as a very serious job, and I love it.
This reminds
and
me
I pull a lot from like Eric Church and those kind of guys where you get up there and you just have to leave every ounce of energy on that stage, or you didn't do your job right.
It's
so
like
that's how I feel.
That's your Sasha Fierce, your alter ego.
See, I was going to go Clark Kent and Superman.
Oh yes,
That's right. That's right.
Much
that's my
better.
Superman moment.
much
That's
better.
great.
Well, hey, do you have a piece of paper and a pencil handy?
I got a piece of paper.
All right,
I got a pen.
3 great song titles for you out of this interview. Number 1, How Did I Get Here?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Is that one of them? Okay.
Number 2, The World Shut Down.
Okay.
And number 3, Give Me a Mic. There you go. There's your homework.
So
All right.
the next time we talk to you, we have to talk about Man of the House. I know that has to be like such a passion project for you, and I know you're getting so much great feedback about that. So that'll be for the next time we talk. But
Right on.
let's give away some tickets to the show to see Jason Aldean, Mitchell Tenpenny, Corey Kent. What do you think?
Come on.
Let's do it.
Come on. Let's give them away.
The show's August 25th at ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm so looking forward to seeing you live in concert.
Man, I can't wait to meet you guys. Come out to the show, and let's have a good time.
We're excited.
Woohoo.
Corey, thank you so much. And thanks for spending so much time with us. We really do appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for giving me a chance, supporting my record, and like you guys have no idea the impact you're making on my family's life. So thank you for the support and the opportunity, and yeah, it just means a lot. Like it means a hell of a lot to me. So thank you.
So down to earth. What a great and grateful artist.
I fell in love with his name only because of the Superman connection that I created. But yeah,
you created Superman?
No, I created that connection.
Oh.
But yeah, such a cool guy. I'm really, really looking forward to watching his career and watching him rise to the top.
I mean, you can cheer for and hope for fame for a lot of our artists, but sometimes there's one that just kind of like after you've spoken with him or heard him in a long conversation, you're like, that's the guy. I'm gonna really hope that his career blossoms.
Yeah. Like years ago, it was for us. It was Justin Moore.
Yeah.
Like we had him in the studio, and we all just fell in love with the guy.
Yeah.
You could tell how genuine he is.
Yeah.
And I get that same vibe from Corey.
We hope you enjoyed the show. After the show, if you did, a couple things you can do is leave a review or give us 5 stars. What that does is it helps other people be able to find us in the algorithm.
Ah.
And be sure to share with your friends if you loved it. And we will talk to you soon. Be sure to tune in to 99.9 Gator Country, whether it's online or here locally in Jacksonville. Have a good one.